be a nice spot if this isn't too much on your quads. I just did a really long run, so this actually feels kind of nice, but also legs crossed here could be nice, but lifting your hips up so that you can really extend through the spine will feel good if you can. Roll the shoulders back, and then place the hands down on your knees, so palms face the ground. And then just take a couple breaths to settle. They can be in the nose, out the mouth. Eyes closed, just starting to feel some of the day or the morning, depending on where you are, melt away a little bit. Maybe some of the tension you built up just trying to log on. Set up your space. And then eventually, when you feel ready, you seal the lips and you continue to breathe in and out through the nose. Now focusing on making the breath deeper and deeper. And what we're going to do today is similar to last Sunday. I know a lot of you joined last Sunday as well. Is that we are going to hold some of the stretches for a longer period of time so that it's more of a deep stretch and more of a restorative practice. Always nice on a Sunday. It is Sunday if anyone needed to know. Now maybe you start to count your breaths. Inhale for a count of 3. Holding the breath in and then exhaling for a count of 3. Whatever you need to do in order to bring yourself down onto the mat. Whatever you need to do to ground yourself before we move a bit. And if there's noises around you, a little bit of chaos in your space, using the breath, letting it be loud inside, letting it kind of take over and be your main point of focus. Notice if you're still holding any tension, maybe in the legs, not allowing them to relax fully, the shoulders. And then to relieve a little bit of tension in that neck, bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Breathe into the left side of the neck. And then drop the chin down towards the chest and over to the other side. Nice and easy, nice and slow. Still breathing in and out through the nose. And again, bring the chin down to the chest. We'll go one more round, right ear to right shoulder. Maybe this time you bring the right hand off, the left hand off to the side, creating some more length all the way from the ear out towards the tip of the shoulder. And then bring the hand back, drop the chin to the chest. Left ear, left shoulder, right hand now off to the side, yeah. Try to let the left shoulder relax down. You'll feel that extra stretch through the neck. And then bring the hand back, chin to chest, stay there. And then bring the fingertips on top of the head, interlace them, and without applying any pressure except for the weight of your arms, just drop your elbows down to the sides, bringing the chin closer to the chest. And then easy, lift the chin up. Release the arms to the side. Good. And you can open those eyes, start to roll the shoulders back a bit. warming them up, and then bring them forward. No method to the madness, just big, big rolls. And then from your seated position, we're gonna come into a tabletop, so you can remove any pillow or blanket that you have. Bring the wrists right underneath those shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Drop the belly, lift the crown of the head towards the ceiling, the tailbone to the sky, and then round the back, chin to chest, curl. Inhale, drop the belly, do it again. And exhale, round. Twice more. Inhale, drop the belly. And exhale, round. Last time, drop the belly, big stretch through your collarbones. And then exhale, round. This time, hold here. Pull the chin in towards the chest, round even more through the upper back. Now take a big breath in between the shoulder blades. And exhale, release. Good, tuck the toes under, come up to downward facing dog. We're only going to be here for a minute or so, just to pedal out the feet. Bring a little bit more heat to the body before we deepen into those stretches. So you can pedal the feet, get into the calves, the hamstrings. Spreading the fingers wide, letting the head relax down. Don't build any extra tension in that neck. Take one more big breath in. And then exhale, find stillness if you haven't yet. Soften the elbows just a little bit so that your arms aren't locked straight like mine tend to be all the time. Then with the feet hip width distance apart, bend the knees so that the belly comes closer to the thighs and you're able to tilt your tailbone up to the sky. And I want you to visualize your breath coming into the low back and create space there. So with the head hanging down, you've got some length in your neck and your upper back. Pressing down into those hands, you've got length in the middle back. But then you need your breath and those bent knees to bring some length into the low back. 2 more breaths. One more deep breath in. And on the exhale, drop the knees. Coming back to a seated position. Bring your feet together into butterfly. Good. And if you've got the pillows around you and you're tight here, you can put some pillows underneath your knees. I don't have enough stuff. With the feet together, all you're gonna do is open the chest. So shoulders back, feel this nice broad space here. And then the spine is super long. Now you can start to lean forward. If you move the feet further away from you, you're gonna feel less of an intense stretch. So you decide where you want your feet. And then you fold any amount. And if you've got a yoga block or a pillow, now I have all these things, you can bring the yoga block out in front of you and eventually, I don't know if it's gonna happen after my run today, but eventually you can put your head on the pillow or the yoga block. Breathe in. Breathe out. And again, we're here for an extended amount of time, so you're going to use your breath. With every exhale, you get just a tiny bit lower. Trying to keep the length in the spine for as long as you can. Eventually coming to a place where you maybe relax the neck, close the eyes, and deepen the breath. If that exercise of breathing in for 3, breathing out for 3 helps you, use it as a tool. Using it to make maybe the external things that are happening around in your space kind of fade away. finding your edge with this stretch. That point where maybe it's a little bit uncomfortable, but you can hang there. Two more breaths. Make them deep, make them full. And then nice and easy, really slow. Come out of the pose. Just notice how the hips feel as you back off. And then take the feet to the earth. Bring the hands by your sides. And you're just gonna rock the knees from side to side. You don't have to go very far. Yeah. Keep the chest open. Press down through the hands so your back is straight. And then maybe you start to rock a little bit bigger, letting the hips lift. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Cross the ankles, come back into a tabletop position here. Back into your cat and cow. This time, you drop the belly, lift the face forward. Try to pull the shoulder blades down and back. And then round the spine, hold. And then a nice neutral back, nice flat position. Your hips are gonna go around in a circle, maybe first starting clockwise, rocking forward and then back. Good. We're gonna get into some more deep hip stretches, so just keeping this space warm before we go there. And then switch directions. Putting the weight into the hands and then letting the hips go back. Stick that butt out to the side, get nice big circles. Good. And then find tabletop again. One more thing here, bring the knee into the chest. Yeah. And then draw a circle back and out to the side and around. So all the way out and around. So counterclockwise circles. Do a few, and then switch directions. Using the glutes to lift, using your core to stabilize. Good. And then eventually settle. Switching sides, bring the left knee into the chest and then out to the side and around to the back. A few circles on this side. And then switch directions, last one here. And eventually settle back into that tabletop position. If you need to do anything else, maybe work through the back a bit before we go into lizard, you can. And just a little shake of the butt. And then take the right foot forward, finding that lunge. Now coming into it from here, it's a little bit harder to get the length, so you can move the right knee back, left knee back. Onto your fingertips, look forward. Untuck the toes if they're still tucked, relax that foot. And all you're gonna do here is rock from side to side. I think we did this last week. Rocking over to the right, putting some weight into that left hand, back and forth. Keep your breath steady. Things might be coming up for you where you might start to feel a little aggravated or you might start to feel a little stressed, and that's okay. It's a little bit normal when we're going slower for a lot of the type A people in the crew. It's also just a lot to be stretching the hips this intensely. Now bring both hands inside the right foot and bring the right foot over so that the toes come off of the mat and the heel stays on. So you've just got a little bit of a turnout. And now you have a ton of options. If this is pretty intense for you, stay. If you want just a tiny bit more, you roll onto the outside edge of this foot. It's gonna open up the hip in a new place. Maybe it feels a little bit better. You can also come down to your forearms. Try to keep the foot flat, or if you're rolling onto the edge of the foot, keep the whole edge on the ground. So all the way from the pinky toe to the heel. And again, if you've got blocks or you have pillows that you want to use here, you can. Forearms on a pillow, just could bring you up a little bit higher. You go as low as you'd like, to a point where the stretch feels challenging. It feels intense, but it's not too overwhelming. You can breathe here for another minute. If the motion feels good, that rock from side to side, you can still do it down here. Make it subtle. Sometimes the hip stretches are so intense that just the slightest distraction is welcome. So if the breath isn't working, a little rock could work. All right, and to come out of this, if you're on your forearms, of course, first come to the hands. If you're rolled onto the edge of that foot, flatten the foot. So just coming out with the same care you did on the way in, and then heel toe that foot back to center. We're just gonna do a little rock here, hips back, hips forward, don't go too far. Just stretch out that glute, bring some motion back into the hips before we switch sides. And then back to tabletop position. You're gonna feel a little bit imbalanced, that's okay. Maybe you roll out the chest, shake the hips, eventually stepping that left foot forward now. The sensation's going to be different. If it's exactly the same, then good for you. But we're often quite imbalanced in our hips. You can walk the right knee further back, stay on the fingertips so you've got some height, and then that rock from side to side. Putting weight into the right hand and then the left hand. Let it be fluid. Maybe inhale to one side, exhale to the other. Bring both hands inside that left foot. Same thing as the right foot. So the left toes come off, the heel stays on. So you're just creating more space so that the hip can open up, and take your time. So notice how this hip feels, maybe comparing it to the other side. Rolling onto the edge of that foot if it feels good. Of course, bringing it down lower, maybe forearms to the pillow or a block or the ground. Try to keep the length in your spine. And if it feels good to move, you can move. Steady breath. Notice if you start to clench your teeth or maybe scrunch your eyes. Tension can start building in these weird places when you're hyper-focused on one area. So use the breath to relax the areas that feel tense. And when you're ready, start to ease out of the pose, so bringing yourself up to your hands first. And then bringing that foot center, and just start to rock back and front. Mobilizing the hip again, waking up the glutes. All right, we take a break from the hips. Take one more breath in. And exhale, come back to tabletop position. Okay, so Fatima, you're gonna do something a little bit different. If child's pose is still okay for you, you can come into child's pose. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have you work your chest opener here, so some cat and cows for a second. Everyone else, unless there's another pregnant person in the bunch, you're gonna come down to Sphinx pose, so down onto your belly. Rolling the shoulders back, spread the fingers wide, and little draw of the elbows, so the elbows move back as your chest opens more. So just engaging the arm muscles. We're gonna go into a deeper chest opener from here, which you will be able to do, Fatima, but you're gonna have to get into it a little creatively. You'll see. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. All right, from here, the left cheek of your face, not your butt, comes down to the ground and the arms come out like a T. Yeah? Okay. Now, point the right toes to the sky and bring the right fingertips like a claw in front of your face. Now you're gonna roll onto your left side and bring that right foot behind you. The head can stay rested on the ground. Again, block, pillow, or blanket under your head could be nice because it's gonna keep your neck neutral. Your neck doesn't have to stay neutral, but it might feel better. So what we're working right here is this shoulder and chest opener. So the more that you lean into the shoulder, the more you're gonna feel it through your collarbone, through the chest, through the middle. The idea or the ideal positioning is having the arms straight out from the shoulder. So you started in that T position and you're still in that T position. But a lot of us aren't super open here, so the arm might need to be lower on the ground. Lower towards your foot. And then just breathing here. Not a super comfortable one either for many of us. If you'd like, the right hand can go up towards the ceiling. A few of you might know a place to go beyond this. If you do, you can go for it. Reaching the arm back and clasping the hands. It's like a little, you have to navigate a little bit to find your left hand, but you could grab on. And then you get the chest stretch all the way through. Otherwise, just let this hand go up, let the blood flow towards the chest. Relax the toes on the right foot. Relax the face muscles. Take one more big breath in. And then exhale, roll onto the belly. And find your way back to Sphinx position, just to settle in center. Breathe in, lift the chest. And breathe out, fall forward, bring the arms out like a T. This time your right cheek to the mat, left toes to the sky, and you roll over onto the right side of your body. I'll spin around. Take a moment with the fingertips in front of your face, using it as leverage to roll over onto the side until you feel this kind of comfortable discomfort in that chest, the shoulder. Maybe open and close your jaw, your eyes. Relax the toes. And if you did it on the other side, lift the left arm up. And you can try for it. If you reach back, try to find that right hand somewhere over there. I can't help you find it, but if you've got it, you can hold on. Trying to keep the hands at shoulder height or just a touch lower. Otherwise, just let this arm hold up towards the ceiling. Breathe in. Breathe out. And just bring the hand back in front of the face. Rolling onto the belly just for a second. And pushing up to tabletop. Toes touch, heels wide, bring it back down. Not downward facing dog, child's pose, child's pose. Head down. If your shoulders need a break, you can stack your arms. So stack one arm over the other and use it as a little headrest. Let the shoulders settle and let the hips feel something. Knees wide enough to let that belly rest between. Take 2 more breaths where you are. Maybe now you extend the arms forward, get a quick little stretch. We're going to go back into the hips next. When you're ready, tabletop position again. Tucking the toes, finding your downward facing dog. Bring the right leg up, not very high, just extend it back like you're gonna place the foot on the wall behind you. Lengthen through the hips, so really try to breathe some space in between the front side of that right hip. Pulling it out of the socket like someone's pulling your foot back. Take one more breath in. And then bring the right knee to the right wrist. Dropping down onto the left knee, untucking the toes. All right, now there's a number of things that are gonna happen here. First, you're gonna look back at that left leg. Make sure it's straight out from the hip. It's lined up with the edge of your mat. And then you look at this right thigh, try to line that up with the edge of the mat as well. It doesn't have to be perfect. But this is where your pillow or your block comes in. You can stick it underneath this right hip so that you've got some height. If you've got a second pillow or block, all the props. You can come lower, first onto the forearms, but yeah, that other pillow or block can support you as well. So if you are feeling it intensely in your glute and your hip, then this is where you stay for a few breaths, flexing the right foot so that the knee is safe. Maybe the pillow or block underneath your forehead. And I know a lot of you are quite flexible, but use your breath and take your time. Bringing the arms forward, resting the forehead on the mat. Because if you race down there, then there's nothing to really work on. So if you're already down in what you think is your lowest half pigeon, then you work to deepen the breath, and maybe you try to fine tune it here a bit. Flexing that right foot and seeing how that activation really engages the muscles around the knee. Maybe moving the left knee back a little bit further, seeing how that length feels. Maybe trying to bring that right foot up closer to the left shoulder. Just these micro adjustments could make the stretch feel different for you. Again, working to that level of comfortable discomfort. It's manageable. About 4 more breaths. See if you can make them slower. Inhaling maybe for a count of 4. Exhaling for a count of 4. Start to ease yourself out of your half pigeon, finding your way up onto the hands, and then you'll rock onto the right side and swing that left leg around front. Keep the right foot as it is, just place it on the inside of the leg, lift up, so really, really tall, and then turn the chest towards that extended left leg. And start to fold forward. Start just at your halfway fold. So not where you know you can go. Just start halfway, shoulders back, chest open. Not racing to the finish line. Not today anyways. Flex that left foot, and on every exhale you get just a tiny bit lower. You've got time. Come on up. Extend both legs out in front. Give them a little shake. A real good shake. And then just rock a little bit side to side. If you feel any tightness in the shoulders, maybe you shake them out a bit. We're making our way back to downward facing dog. So cross the ankles, come over onto the hands and knees, and then tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. You can go slower than that. We start with the left leg lifting. And then just like someone has their hands on your ankle, pulling it back, back, back. Start to breathe some space into the front of that left hip. See if you can extend longer. Inhale. And then exhale, bring that left knee to the left wrist. Slide that right foot back, coming onto the knee. Go ahead, look at that right leg already. Make sure it's a nice straight line. And then the left thigh, somewhere similar to parallel with the edge of your mat. And then this left foot goes as far forward as you can get it. For some of you, it might be back by the hip bone. For some of you, it might be up by that wrist. There's no right position. It's really whatever your body can do. The hips level with one another. And that left foot flexed, especially if you feel anything in your knee. The block or the pillow goes under the left hip this time, and then maybe you come down, starting with the forearms. Let the belly soften. The hips are already feeling so much of this tightness, so much release. Let the other parts of your body relax. Eventually coming down, maybe forehead on the hands or forehead on the mat. When the mind starts to wander off of your mat, away from the yoga practice, just bring it back. with a few deep breaths, counting them if it helps. Take 2 more breaths. And then you can start making your way back up to the hands, taking a moment to draw the shoulders back. And then come on to that left hip, swing that right leg around. And one-legged stretch on this side. Lift up through the crown of your head. Turn the chest, the heart towards those right toes, and then just come about halfway. Whatever halfway is for you, 50%. Keep the toes flexed, look at them. Not judging whether you need a pedicure or something. My mom's here, so she knows that I need a pedicure. Looking forward, getting lower and lower. Using the exhale for the release. So inhale, some energy in, exhale, find some release. Start to ease yourself back up. Extending the legs forward for that shape. So bring the hands behind you. Press down so you can feel tall through your spine, maybe light through your butt. Maybe the butt lifts up just a tiny bit. And relax. Bend the knees and come onto your backs all the way down. To start here, we'll extend the left leg straight and bring the right knee in towards the chest. The knee comes towards the shoulder. You can relax the left leg completely and just let the emphasis be on that thigh pressing into the outer belly up towards the obliques. A little bit of pressure there. Or if you can't put pressure on your belly, just letting that knee come out wide, maybe working the hip stretch a bit more. But either way, using the arm strength. For some pull, holding the knee in place. Deepen the breath. Maybe close the eyes. And then you're going to loosen the grip. Bring that left arm out to the side like a T. And bring the knee out to the right so that it's more in line with the hips. So just a little bit lower, you can still be holding onto it. Now Fatima, you're probably gonna stay here, unless twisting still feels okay. Everyone else, Knee comes across to the left. Twisting, opening the arms wide. And then turn the head to the right. If you don't have the space to extend your arms into that T position, these goalpost arms is a good spot for you. Keep the upper back broad, trying to keep both shoulders down on the mat. Relax the jaw, relax the eyes. Deepen the breath. Bringing the knee back towards center. And then bring both feet to the mat. Cross the right ankle over the left. So keeping with this right leg. Figure four, you're going to reach through, grab onto the back of that left leg. Flex the right foot. And go ahead and relax the left leg. So just use the leg as a prop. A little bit of leverage. We're not here too long. Breathe in. Breathe out. Placing that left foot on the ground, arms by the sides. Lift the right leg up to the ceiling. A little stretch here. And then lower it down so the heel hovers above the ground. And then use your hip strength to pull it back up. Good. Bring it down. And pull it up. Two more. Down. And up. Last time. Down. And up. And then let that leg rest on the ground. This time, the left knee comes in. Pulling it over towards that left shoulder. Relax the right foot. Bringing the thigh to touch the belly. Knee can start to come wider and wider. Tuning into where the mind goes when you reach this point of stillness where you find maybe that you feel content. When the physical sensation isn't too intense, our mind will start to wander somewhere else, and it's not bad. Part of the practice is bringing the mind back to the present moment. The time you set aside to stretch, to do something for yourself. And bring the right arm out to the side. Lower the knee, bringing it more in line with the hips, and let it fall out to the left, opening that hip. And then if you're twisting, the knee can come across the body, arms out like goalpost or like a T, upper back on the ground. Eyes to the left. Bring that inhale into the left side. Feel the ribs expand. Exhaling. Bringing it back to center. Placing both feet on the ground. Bring that left ankle over the right, back to that figure four stretch on the side. Reach the hands through, relax the right foot, flex the left foot, and use your arm strength, pull it in. Keeping the low back pressing onto the mat. Bring the foot to the ground. Arms by the sides, lift that left leg up to the ceiling. And then lower the heel down to hover. Bring it up, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, inhale up. Exhale, lower the leg onto the ground. Extend the right leg, arms overhead, big full body stretch. And then arms by the sides. Last couple of stretches here. Bring the feet back to the ground. Bring the feet as wide as the mat. Maybe they come off the mat just a little bit. And then knock the knees together. So your whole back still on the ground. Just a subtle release in the low spine. And this is the point where if you have a sweatshirt you took off, a jumper, or a blanket, you could bring it closer. Put it back on. Same with socks. Walk the feet in. Bring the knees in towards your chest, grabbing the insides of the feet, coming into happy baby. Our last stretch here, rocking from side to side. Extend the legs down the mat, finding your corpse pose, your shavasana, bringing the hands by your sides. Again, good time to have that blanket. You can drape it over you. If you are worried you might fall asleep, you can sit up. I'm going to sit up just so my voice is more clear. But if you're comfortable, shavasana with the palms facing the sky, bring the hands a little bit wider than the mat. Take up some space. Let the shoulders relax, lengthening the neck. Maybe rocking the head from side to side, just noticing if you're still holding on to any tension somewhere. Just settle. If there happens to be something that keeps coming to the front of your mind, try to use the breath to overpower, keeping the mind empty of thoughts and full with the breath. And thoughts are going to come in, but just let them pass by, don't let them linger. Fully rest here. We're going to work through a breathing exercise, same one we did last week. We'll keep it nice and simple. So this 3-part breath where we inhale, and then we hold the breath in, you retain, and then you exhale. And we do it with the counting. So start by breathing in as much as you can. Open the mouth, let it go. Do it again, breathe in. And let it go. With the eyes closed, start to breathe. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. And then exhale for 3, 2, 1. Breathing in again for 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Breathe in for 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Inhale 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Continuing on your own, and it's okay if you count faster or slower. And if it's making you anxious to count, don't. Just breathe deeply. And if you are feeling anxious and you feel like you just need a little bit of comfort, bring the right hand to the belly and the left hand to the heart space. Hands on the body might just help you do it. Breathing deeper, finding that 3 count, that 3-part breath. If you feel good, start adding on. Inhale for 4, holding the breath, and then exhaling for 4. I'm not going to count you anymore. You can make this your own, growing anywhere up to maybe 6 counts, 7 counts, or just staying with 3. You'll go through a few more cycles on your own. And then let go of that controlled breath and just find a smooth breath in through the nose, maybe out the mouth, cleansing. And if you didn't move your hands to your body, do that now, bringing the right hand to the belly and the left hand to the heart space. Just honoring how you feel now, taking it in, committing it to memory, so you know why you want to come back here later. And then when you're ready, you roll to the right side, coming into the fetal position. No rush. Taking the blanket with you. Settling into the fetal position. Again, just observing. And then use your hands to press up to a seat. If you want to grab a pillow or a blanket underneath you now, you can. And then find that place where we started, but this time the palms face up. Closing the eyes and bringing the chest to rock back over the hips. Really tall through your spine, all of that space you just created in your hips, your back, your neck. You can drop the chin just slightly so you feel the back of your neck long. And if you don't feel good having your eyes closed, you can just gaze at something out in front of you. And again, start to deepen the breath in through the nose and out the nose. Settling the shoulders. There was a quote that I shared on the only place that I share things, Instagram. And it was, for fast acting relief, try slowing down. So as you continue to breathe here, I want you to just meditate on how it's maybe felt to have the luxury of moving a little bit slower. I know some of you might have kids at home, or maybe work feels crazier now that you're at home. But I'm sure there have been moments where you maybe haven't missed your chaotic morning commute or routine. Maybe you've enjoyed having the time to cook. So just let your mind flood with all of the positives that have come out of slowing down. And maybe you can't think of anything else except for this moment. And that's okay. But how good it's felt to slow down, to stretch deeply. Bring the hands to heart center. Bringing the thumb knuckles to the center of the chest and letting the elbows relax down. You can drop your chin even lower now. Finding that prayer position. And I want you to take this into your week. For fast acting relief, try slowing down. And in those moments where you might feel pulled in a couple different directions, or overwhelmed by the news, anxiety about family and friends, I want you to come back to your breath and come back to this feeling you have now. So promise yourself that you will take this into your week. And then bring the thumbs to the third eye center, the center of the forehead. Lift the heart to the sky. And together we bow. Namaste.